Chime captured 47% more deposits while you were busy upgrading your core system, still running that same roadmap. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your modernization strategy became the very thing that let fintech companies pull ahead, and what institutional leaders are doing differently right now. Here's what nobody tells you about core banking transformations. You spent 18 months planning the migration, another 12 executing it. Your team worked nights and weekends. You hired consultants. You ran parallel systems. You trained staff, and when it finally went live, you celebrated because you were supposed to. But while you were managing that transformation, something else happened. Chime didn't just grow. They grew specifically in your market with your customers, capturing the deposits you thought were safe. SoFi expanded their lending footprint. Varo won over small business accounts. And here's the part that stings. They did it faster than your core system. Could even process a digital account opening request. We work with institutions across the country, running on Fiserv, Jack Henry, and FIS, the big three that power 70% of U.S. banks. These are solid platforms. They're reliable. They're proven. But here's what we're seeing. The transformation itself became a full-time focus. It absorbed your best people. It consumed your innovation budget. It delayed every other digital initiative because you couldn't make major changes while migrating systems. And the fintech companies? They weren't migrating anything. They were just moving. The real cost of modernization isn't the project budget. It's not the consulting fees or the software licenses. The real cost is every customer conversation that didn't happen. Every digital feature that got pushed to phase 2. Every competitive advantage you delayed because the core system had to come first. Your executive team knows this. They feel it in every quarterly review when someone asks why your digital account openings are still slower than competitors, why your mobile app still can't do what Chime's does, why business clients still need to visit a branch for services they can get instantly from fintech lenders. And the answer is always the same. We're working on it. It's on the roadmap. We're in the middle of a transformation, but the market doesn't wait for roadmaps. Let me tell you about a conversation Marcus Chen had last spring with a banking executive. We'll call him Robert Sullivan. Robert ran a regional bank, about $4 billion in assets, solid commercial lending book, good community reputation. They'd just completed a 2-year migration to a newer Fiserv platform. The technical team was exhausted but proud. The board was relieved it was done. Robert called Marcus because of a chart his CFO showed him. Deposit growth in their key demographic. Professionals aged 28 to 42 had flatlined, not dropped, just stopped growing. Meanwhile, 3 fintech competitors had collectively captured 47% more deposits from that exact demographic compared to the previous year. Robert adjusted his silver-rimmed reading glasses, the way he always did when processing difficult information. We just spent 23 months modernizing our core system, he said. How are we still losing ground? Marcus pulled up his tablet, showing Robert something most bank executives never see. A timeline comparison. On one side, Robert's bank. Every digital initiative from the past 2 years. Mobile app enhancement, delayed 8 months for core migration. API banking development, paused until after go live. Digital account opening redesign, pushed to phase 3. Instant payment capabilities, still in planning. On the other side of the screen, Chime's product releases during that same period. Instant transfers, automated savings features, credit building tools, fee-free overdraft protection. They shipped 14 major customer-facing features while Robert's bank was managing database conversions. Your core system works perfectly now, Marcus said. But your customers don't care about your core system. They care about whether they can open an account from their phone in 4 minutes or 4 days, whether they can move money instantly or wait for processing windows, whether they pay fees or don't. Robert leaned back. So the modernization was a mistake? No, Marcus said. The modernization was necessary, but it became the strategy instead of being infrastructure for the strategy. Your competitors didn't spend 2 years modernizing. They spent 2 years acquiring your customers. Here's what Marcus helped Robert understand. The core banking transformation created what we call a strategic opportunity cost. Every meeting about data migration was a meeting not about customer experience. Every dollar spent on system conversion was the dollar not spent on digital innovation. Every executive hour focused on go-live readiness was an hour not spent on competitive positioning. Robert's bank had better infrastructure now. More stable, more scalable, better positioned for future growth. But they'd lost 2 years of actual growth to get there. So Robert asked the question every executive asks at this point. What do we do now? Marcus showed him something specific. A gap analysis, but not the technical kind. A customer experience gap analysis. He mapped every moment in the customer journey where Robert's bank was more than 30 seconds slower than Fintech competitors. Account opening, loan applications, money movement, service requests. Then he showed Robert something surprising. Most of those gaps had nothing to do with the core system. They were process gaps, integration gaps, decision-making gaps. The core system could support faster processes. But the bank hadn't redesigned the processes yet, because everyone was focused on the migration. Your Fiserv platform can process an account opening in real time, Marcus explained, but your process still requires 3 approval steps and 2 verification calls. Chime's process has 0 steps. The account just opens. Within 90 days, Robert's team made specific changes. They rebuilt their digital account opening flow, cutting 17 steps down to 4. They integrated their Jack Henry payment systems with real-time processing, rails they already had access to, but weren't using. They automated lending decisions for amounts under $50,000, using data analytics they'd been collecting but not leveraging. The core system didn't change. The strategy around the core system changed. 6 months later, their digital account opening speed improved by 73%. Their customer satisfaction scores in the target demographic rose for the first time in 2 years, and their deposit growth started moving again. Not because they modernized their core system, because they stopped letting modernization be an excuse for not competing. So here's what you need to do this week. 1 specific action. Open your core banking roadmap, the one your IT team maintains. Look at every initiative currently labeled pending platform stabilization, or scheduled for phase 2, or delayed pending migration. Now ask yourself this question. Which of these could we start right now if we stopped waiting for perfect infrastructure? Because here's what institutions we work with are discovering. Your core system is ready. It's been ready. What's not ready is your willingness to move at Fintech speed with the infrastructure you already have. Your competitors already know this. You don't. Yet.